Hello ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Dennis Duke Oniala. I'm super excited to be having your company right here on this beautiful channel, and we are still continuing with the big man himself, Hamisi Semanda.
Yes.
He's also into goat farming, and the kind of conversation we're going to have today is about how to manage zero grazing or goats on zero grazing. Now, we understand a lot of people out there have small units of land, but they would like to use it to their very best. So we're going to learn about the grasses that we need on a zero grazing level, but we're also going to look at how do you fatten these goats to reach the expected number of kgs that the market requires. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you.
And how is the farm doing?
Farm is going well.
Okay.
Very, very well.
Talk about zero grazing. What should somebody look at when they're starting their zero grazing farm?
The moment you think about of zero grazing, I want you to think about of the pastures, because zero grazing means no movement, but have your pastures with you, and then prepare your animal. Because zero grazing, every goat can go there. But there is a difference between zero grazing and fattening. As we are explaining here at Ham Garden, we are looking at how the time an animal reaches to be served here at the garden. First of all, at Ham Garden, we don't do super local goats. No. Why? Because the moment we serve the local goats, people keep complaining. You know the reason? Because their bones are bigger than the muscles. And what guys want, they really want the muscles as them. So basically, we've tried like two, 3 times to serve the local goats, and people have been complaining about them. So basically what we do, like for us, the improved animals, which are 50%, those are the ones that we slaughter and our clients be happy. Why? Because they have bigger muscles and smaller bones, and their bones are soft. Actually, somebody can even chew it. So how do we bring up that? Like a person, like the way I'm telling you that you guys, we want to do what they call from farm to plate. So that means we are also looking at the time. What do you need to have that kind of animals? Then, Duke, for me, what I do, if an animal makes over 3 months, I put it off. I put it under zero grazing, and I start feeding it properly. Well, with what? I use alfalfa grass, which has a protein. I use Chloris Guyana, which has a carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, that's the energy that is required. Actually, the excess carbohydrates in the body are turned into a fat. So what do? We need more energy. That animal, actually, it's the energy that an animal even use to even digest the food. You get? So we need more energy because we need to digest the food. We need to create a fat, because no one would want a muscle without a fat. And then the protein, which can produce the meat, what we call the muscles ourselves. So when you look at alfalfa, works as our source of protein, which brings out the muscle. Then Bracharia molato is a protein, but at a low level. But the biggest percentage are carbohydrates, which gives us a fat, and also the Chloris Guyana. So we are using the 3, and we also add in, because we need more energy. Like those animals, we need them to have a lot of fat, but they grow at a high rate, and they give us muscle to bring them here. So we add in more maize. We also give in some maize or maize bran, and then we increase on the energy levels. Then, of course, we use some concentrates, which are already made from those companies, and I know in those concentrates we have premix. We also have some cotton seed cake. So they mix a lot of things, and they make like a small concentrate so that it can help us to produce, to help that animal do what they call digestion, to digest or to increase the metabolism of the body, so that if an animal takes in the feed now, it is giving you results immediately. Because for us here, we are looking at the time. I can't put an animal under a feedlot for more than 3 months. You get it? So we want to keep it for 3 months, and then we bring it here and eat it. So that goat of 3 months, the one that we can put in the feedlot for extra 3 months or even 2, when we bring it here, a goat of 6 months, we are getting over 50 kgs live weight, and it is giving us 25 kgs of meat. So 25 kgs of meat, that is 25 times 40,000. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about $1 million from a goat of 6 months. So basically, that is what you need to have. You have those kind of grasses, have a very good breed that you need to put into that. Then also have a target, the time. I'm talking about the time. What time are you looking at? Which breed are you looking at? Which feeds are you looking at? And which vitamins are you looking at? Then finally, you can come up with a very good meat and very good tender meat, because in that arrangement, we are not using the concentrates, like an animal being fed on a concentrate and the meat taste and the aroma and the smell goes off. No, okay. Because we are feeding on the natural grasses. So some people ask me, if we are feeding these animals on the feedlot, are they not changing the smell? Are they tasty? Different. And I always tell them that depends on what an animal eats. But basically, if it is feeding on the natural grasses, of course, the aroma, the smell, I think Dense Duke will tell you what exactly it's going to taste.
But one key thing that I've actually picked from his conversation is, initially I had thought that people go on to zero grazing simply because they do not have enough plot or enough land. But now I realize that even if you have big chunks of land, you still would put your animals on zero grazing simply because you want to attain a certain or a specific number of weight to dispose that animal off for various reasons. It could be for maybe breeding purposes, it could be for eating purposes, and so that makes even the conversation more juicer. But considering an animal on free range and on zero grazing, because zero grazing requires certain things. For example, you've talked about concentrates, pellets, even the grasses that you feed, you need to invest in those grasses in terms of weeding, in terms of planting, fertilizers or manure to produce them. Don't you think the cost of production of raising up these goats actually increases more than somebody who is on free range and he's just, feeding on free grasses?
Yeah, actually, the truth is, if you want something in time, you invest in money. It doesn't help you, Dense Duke, to stay with an animal for 2 years and they are paying you 150 because you're putting in less money. And me, I invest, let's say, 50,000 in an animal in 6 months and they give me 500,000. Okay. So you also do your math. You either invest less and take more time with an animal and more risk, or invest more money, you take less time with an animal and you get more money. So in actual sense, if you have smaller land, like the way you're talking to them, you need to invest in more money to produce more animals. If you have bigger land, you only need to invest in less money, but also time matters. So it depends on what you want.
Okay.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are shooting this video right about now at Ham Gardens Cafe and Grill. Yeah. Yes, it is located in Kayunga district, and this is the owner actually. He will pay me for the adverts that I'm running in my video. But regardless, he has very extremely nice foods because he moved from the farm to the plate, and that's why we are actually having these conversations rotating around what to do to add value to whatever business you are doing. Now, as we round up this zero grazing segment, there's always been questions on does the breed matter on zero grazing, or I can actually raise my local goat, put it on zero grazing and attain the weight that I want?
No, the truth is, breed matters a lot.
Okay.
Let it be on zero grazing, let it be on free range. What we need in animals, we are looking at time. You don't have a reason of staying with animals for so long and they're paying less money. So breed is key in this. Nutrition is key and management is key. I've said that many times, that the 3 pillars of a successful goat farmer: 1, management, nutrition, and genetics. So the moment you break one, it's all about you. The reason why we go for the good genetics, whatever you pump it, it brings it out. So if you go for the locals, you'll pump the feeds, but it will not be able to convert what you want. The end point, you end up in a loss. So basically, it matters a lot. The breed matters a lot, because in this business, we are looking at breed as the basic. So don't disturb yourself that you're going to do zero grazing or you're going to do anything and your breed is not that correct. So you will not make money.
Okay. So there you are. You have had it from the main man himself. We've been talking about the concept of zero grazing, or keeping animals on zero grazing, and I hope we now have our facts right, and I hope we're going to do did you mention all the types of grass that somebody needs, that must have?
Yeah.
Maybe you can re-emphasize them.
No, I've told them already.
I know about alfalfa that you talked about.
Alfalfa
Yes.
is a basic, and you should have it in big quantity. Burakelia molato is a must, and you should have it in average quantity. And Chloris guyana is a must.
Okay.
Because those are the main sources. And let me tell you one thing, people make a lot of mistakes and say they are doing napier, doing silage, and they're giving it to an animal. You find that their animals will eat it. Of course, they will live, but they will just develop a belly, and they will never have a balanced body. And what we want is an animal carrying meat at the chest, at the pelvic
legs.
quarters, at the back. So if you're giving it that, it cannot help you.
Okay.
It cannot work.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got that right. My name is Dennis Duke Woniala, and I've been talking to Hamis Semanda, the owner of Ham Gardens, but initially, he still actually is the owner of Ham Animal Breeding Farm, located. All of these are in Kayunga district.
Yeah.
You just call us on these numbers, and definitely we'll be sharing a lot more with you. Thank you so much. You can actually subscribe to his YouTube channel, Hamisi Semanda. Why
Goat
have
farming.
I been forgetting?
If you go there,
yes, you'll find a lot of information about goat farming. You will never regret. Until then, Happy New Year.
all right.